Feel incredible!
It's not a cartoon. It's anime.
Keenan's weak. Keenan, you're weak. What was that?
What was
Why are you
that?
so weak, Keenan?
I'm giving
You're supposed to power up right now.
I'm giving you the power of the show that we're watching. That's what the fuck I'm doing.
That's jokes.
Thank you, everybody, for
That
tuning
is
in
jokes.
to another episode of AnimeSHUN.
Man, this dude Keenan came into the office today with the most trash energy.
I
Like,
did.
I honestly
I
thought
did.
somebody died in his family. I was like, dude, are you
And
okay?
I apologize for that because y'all were you and Cam were legit kind of concerned. Like, hey, is everything cool with you? So I
Yeah, like you
apologize
really
for that.
walked in here like my dog got hit by a car on the way here. That was the energy you walked
Well, I
in
did
this
watch
place
the
with.
Book of Eli for the first time too. So
I've never seen that. Is that good?
Yes.
it's good, man.
Depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Obviously. Yeah.
A little
Wow.
depressing, makes you think about shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're continuing on with Neon Genesis bullshit, and Jesus fucking Christ, man. I don't want to use whatever. I know people might get offended by what I just said with that, but this anime has offended me even more.
I like these past 5 episodes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
I
I
did too.
I did
my
too.
God, are you serious?
The thing is, these are definitely the best episodes so far.
These are the better.
Are you serious?
The
Definitely.
better
To me, the
episodes.
first 5 were actually the better
No
episodes.
way.
I mean,
yeah.
there's some crazy stuff that happened, especially in episode 4.
Yeah.
yeah,
we
dude.
watched.
Episode
Yeah.
4 itself
It
alone,
turned up.
That's what I'm
that
saying.
one episode is
Yeah.
by far the best episode.
That's what I'm
that
saying. The
happened.
I would
first
agree with
5
that, yeah.
The first 5 are clearly to
No.
me.
He means episode 4 of what we're watching.
Sorry,
today.
yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying. Like,
this one?
What we
Yes.
just watched when, like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
you know, we'll get there.
I
when we
mean,
get
it
there,
has
but-
some crazy stuff, but this shit, I'm so tapped out.
It was boring. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
But the highs were actually pretty high for the show.
Yeah.
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 The highs for this show are low. That's how bad this. All right, I understand that.
I just can't wait to
I
talk.
see- it
I have
seems
some
like I
theories
might-
that I want to talk about. That I
I mean,
actually
you were
wanna talk
pretty
about.
spot on with your theories.
From last time.
Yeah.
What did I
About them actually wanting to come down there and get Adam, and then they
They pretty
that's-
much confirmed that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
guess I
was
did
it.
call that out, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we gonna have some other moments with Mr. Me Too and his
Yeah,
himself.
He had some
Yeah.
good times, some bad times this week.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had highs and lows.
Yeah,
so
he
y'all,
had highs and lows.
y'all can come at me, but I'm just saying I got ammunition too.
No.
Yeah, he came back a little bit.
And seeing those particular parts, I was like, oh, Brennan kind of got you there, Rob.
Yeah,
And then I
yeah.
saw there's another part. in there
There's a
that's
lot.
it's like,
There was a lot.
ah.
So I'd also like to point. He did some dope shit in these episodes.
Yeah, he did.
also did
He
some
did.
not dope shit.
He did.
No, but I just want to point out one thing that's really important is that we're starting to do something new, guys. We kind of alluded to it last week, but we didn't really talk about it directly. Is we're actually video recording all of our episodes now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like right now,
We're
I am on
videoing it.
camera. I am pointing at you. You can watch this on YouTube.
Also, watch your hands, guy, because sometimes when we're on the camera, sometimes your hand gets in the camera and it blocks.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
like when we do like this right
Yeah,
here?
or like on the phone. Yeah, I know last week, I think when there was kind of
When you was
I
having
kind of
roast
like it
hand
though.
going.
I
Yeah.
kind of like because Rob did it. I remember there was a big white like glare in the
I do
camera.
have this, reflective surface
Yeah.
on my entire body. Yeah.
But I want to say we have a lot to get through today.
Yeah.
But
But we're videoing it.
You don't have to get this shit can be sped through, and we can get to the
Hey,
to the shit.
Keenan, I'm gonna need you to calm down and let us get through this content, okay?
You're at a
You will have your moment.
Are you running through it now? Is it Rob? You just taking over for Rob?
No,
this
I'm
time?
gonna let Rob do it. I'm just saying, Keenan over here is like not even let us get to the content before all his emotions are spilled.
Random.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
drug deal before the show.
I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
saying,
sorry
like,
about that.
you know what I'm saying? Conserve your energy, bro. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint.
Honestly, this show to me, and I'll just say this before we jump into it, but I know we gotta jump into it.
No, wait, no. I know what you're about. Are you about to say
no.
what you said earlier?
No.
Oh, okay,
Nobody said
cool.
that.
Don't say that yet.
This show for me, I guess I just I've tapped out so much that
Even when it does something good.
even when it's something good, it's like it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's like for me, I'm just like, yo, I just want to.
I
I
think
just want to get to the shits.
This episode, one of these episodes was better than okay, and I think everybody will agree with that.
Okay, but still, that's 1 out of 20 episodes.
Yeah, facts.
So it's like,
Samurai Shampoo.
so when
Yeah.
no, Samurai Shampoo was way more than 1 out of 20.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get into it, Rob. What
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
in the first episode we watched?
So this first episode, it starts off. They're in the apartment where they're all living at, and There's some internal tension right now because it seems like Misato and what the guy's name Ryoji have kind of like it appears they've rekindled their romantic affair, which we find out by the end of these 5 episodes they have, but they're also working together to spy on Nerve. And so there's some tension between her and Asuka, who of course has a crush on him as well.
Yep. It's always.
And she's like slamming the door, and like Shinji's just like, well, what's going on? She's like, you just don't get women.
It's so funny when it comes to like people when somebody likes somebody else that doesn't even know that they exist, but they're still mad at the other person. Like,
Yeah.
they're mad at the girl. Like, bitch, she don't even notice you, and he doesn't notice you. You're underage.
Right.
He ain't
much.
fucking. I mean, he gonna fuck it as soon as he's the quagmire. He gonna fuck you as soon as you hit 18 for sure.
Oh yeah,
But
if you got a pulse,
yeah, he's gonna smash. But as of right
Hold on.
now,
Hold on. He doesn't even he's not even acknowledging her existence. Okay, guys.
because she's underage.
I get that, but I don't know if that's directly because she's underage. Maybe it's just because she's young in general.
he's just not into redheads.
wow.
Could be
Oh,
that.
wow.
You just pulling that. Okay, this is how we're doing this, Rob.
I feel like
I am not the enemy today, Rob. I am not the enemy because I say, you know, you can get these hands if you want to bring this
Yeah,
to the table.
like I was saying to Keenan before this episode started, our conversation from last week literally has not stopped. Every time
Yeah.
we see
That's
each other,
so funny.
it's
It has
come back
not.
up again.
There was a
I
phone
love
call
it.
yesterday. Like Rob and I work together, so it's just like
Every day.
every single day. I'm like, you see that episode? The homie's cool.
because when I came in today and they started talking, it kind of started to build back up real fast, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, y'all, yeah, is this still? I feel like it's still going over 10." It's like it hasn't stopped since the episode. I was like, "Oh, this is hilarious."
That
It's
was so
been
funny
going.
when you sent that into the group chat. I'm like, oh shit, his ass is trash. 'Cause that was before I started watching it.
Yeah, it was
you
before
know,
I
so
started
was
watching
like,
it, too.
Fuck, I'm like,
yeah.
oh come on, bro.
But let's go.
He's
Go ahead.
still trash for that though.
He
'Cause
is.
he that person that was unsolicited. So
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the guy is like, listen, he's come through in the clutch a few times, but like Harvey Weinstein did make Goodwill Hunting. Like,
Right.
you know, trash
Wow.
people.
So you do want to do
God.
this? We are doing this. All right, fuck it. We're here now, Rob. All I'm saying is, look,
That was-
no, all we were talking about here
whoa,
is my
Brendan,
man
Brendan.
was shooting his shot. That's
Brendan,
it.
that was you got to
There is different ways to shoot your shot. You
Yeah.
don't shoot your shot by saying
Not everybody's-
I'm gonna make you be quiet by covering my lips with your lips. Like
I'm just
no,
saying he didn't
that
say
is
I'm
not
gonna
how
make you.
shoot
I'm
your
just saying. All I'm saying is that he shot the shot the best way he knows how to.
And
And
no,
what?
in a
And
Me Too
That don't make
way.
it, that don't make it the right way.
And
Though.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
saying,
like saying,
I'm not
oh,
saying
you
there
saying-
aren't better ways out there. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that I still don't feel like this man deserves a Harvey Weinstein comparison. That's all.
That was a Harvey Weinstein.
and this
No,
particular
Harvey Weinstein
line.
is like, you work for me, come to my hotel room
Suck
and
this
give me a
dick.
massage and suck
Yeah.
my dick.
Yeah.
He did not do that.
Yeah.
He
That's
said-
my
It-
point.
No, I mean, you got to. And this.
And Rob, argue that if you want to. He
and-
did not
and-
do
and-
that.
and
Oh, I don't have anything to say.
I know you don't.
But
I know
he,
you
I
don't.
feel- I am
when you
very
say,
comfortable
you
with
say,
my position right now.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna go tell on you, and you say, "Oh, you can't tell on me if I put my lips on your lips." That's damn near.
It's not
That's
great.
pretty bad.
It's
I'll-
not good.
I'm
Is
not
it saying I'm
saying-
gonna put my dick out and slap you with it? No, but this damn near
Look,
close.
all I'm saying is that I still don't feel that this has nowhere near that level.
No, he's not as I
no,
said that last time. He's not as bad as
And
Harvey
I think
Weinstein,
there has
but
to
he's
be
still
like,
not great.
There has to be level
No,
when it
and-
comes to this type of stuff. There
And
has-
one thing
you
that
can't put it all
what
in one
Rob
thing.
said,
Yeah.
Rob's biggest argument thus far, which I think I did a good job of slightly dismantling yesterday on the phone. Rob's biggest argument is like, this should not be taking place in the workplace. And my response to that is that these people are, number one, being overworked. And number two, being overworked in the sense of how much time they're having to spend at work. Their life is their work.
I mean, a lot of people fall in love at work. with
Exactly.
their
So
coworkers.
for me,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Is
I mean,
like,
you
so
spending 40
that
hours
argument,
plus with people.
that
you
argument
know?
doesn't work for me because it's like, exactly. Like
You literally have work husbands and work wives.
I work in
Because of that
production.
It does happen.
Yeah.
And I work in production, so it's like
Yeah.
we can be on set for 12 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week, every single day.
Absolutely. Yep.
So it's like, when was I supposed to get at you if I'm gonna do it? When am I supposed to get at anybody if I was gonna do it? Because I'm gonna go home, have an hour to get, shave, shower, and come back. So it's
But
just
then
like
that's the same thing. But you can't really use that because say you work with all dudes, you're not gonna become gay and be like, well, all I work with is dudes 12 hours a day, so I really didn't have any choice.
and that's the thing is like,
Like-
the only time you ever shoot your shot is when there's opportunity. So if there's no opportunity whatsoever, then there's no shot to shoot.
Would you become gay if you was working
No,
with
no,
Rob
but
12, 14 hours a
I don't
day?
think that argument works.
Yeah,
'Cause what I'm saying is, what I
I
just
understand
said.
you're trying to say, all right, but that's yeah.
But
Yeah,
if you-
I said that was a
but
trash
you,
argument,
No, it's
bro.
not. If you're around, you using the
It's a
same thing.
trash
Saying I'm
argument.
around
No,
people a
no,
lot
no,
of
no.
times.
That's a
it's-
trash argument.
No,
It doesn't
you can
apply.
repeat it, but it's
It
not.
doesn't apply.
But beside all that, like I don't even necessarily have a problem with him being like, shooting a shot and being like, hey, like you want to go out for a drink
It's
after
the
work or
way-
something like
it's the
that.
aggressive way he
Yes.
shot his shot.
And
That's
that's the
I think
problem.
what-
I
think
will
that's what
condemn
agrees.
that this one act, one time.
No
I will say
way.
that this act right here was across the line. I agree with that.
So pressing on somebody in the elevator. That's
No.
No, that doesn't. That's not the same.
Here's all right. I'm trying to see where Brendan's coming from in this point, right? The reason why I think everything else has been different up to this particular point is because they have a prior relationship and prior things that they've done together beforehand.
Yes.
So that honestly that is different.
But
now,
that don't give you the grounds to do what he did.
At the end of the day,
agree
we
with you,
don't know what their history is, and we don't know what she likes.
I don't care what your history
No.
is.
Wait, listen for a second. She might like those take control, aggressive guys. We don't.
She says she does because
She
she's like, my dad
does.
was a piece of shit.
She
You're
liked
a piece
it.
of shit.
Where does
So
she-
I decided to date
So Ice,
you.
where does she end up?
So
Where does she end up?
She ended up with him, yeah, but
That's what I'm saying. So
over time.
obviously he's not
But-
doing shit that's
but-
really upsetting
but
her.
No is no.
She didn't say no to him.
She
She
did.
kissed him and was just
She
like, we
did.
shouldn't do this. And
And
he was
said
just like,
no.
are you sure? Pretty much. She didn't say, don't do this. I don't want it. Get off of me. She didn't even turn her head when he tried to kiss him.
leave the
She
elevator.
didn't kiss
that
him.
elevator scene, I
All
don't know
she
how
had to
you
do-
got that from that
All
scene.
you have to do is
Brendan.
turn
I
your
really
head.
don't
You don't want to
understand
make
how
out
you
with
saw-
somebody.
I'm-
All you have to do is turn your
I'm
head.
just glad that you're good with women because if you
All
weren't,
I'm
you would
saying-
be a monster.
All I'm saying,
You would be a monster.
I don't know
sir.
what you're referring to
Yeah, I'm
with
just-
being good with anyone. I have
Oh,
no
my
idea what you're
God.
talking about. But all I'm saying is that if she didn't want to kiss him, all she had to do is turn her head. All she has to do is put
What-
her
so
hand
then-
on his
so
chest.
then what are you
all
telling-
she has to do is say
so-
no when he's coming in for
And
her.
then
She didn't
not-
do any
she
of those
not-
things.
Did she not say no when he was like, oh,
Afterwards.
get naked, take your shirt off. It's hot. Oh, take your shirt off. What?
What are
No,
you talking about?
Fuck you.
She made it. She
I'm
presented
not-
a problem. He presented a solution.
Oh my God.
What are you talking about?
Oh
I'm
my
hot. You're wearing a
God.
lot of clothes. You won't be as hot in a
Oh
second.
no way.
Jesus.
Your rationale
A break,
is
dude.
trash.
here's the thing though. In that particular case, is it for somebody to ask, right? It's like somebody asks you for a hand job or some head or whatever like that, right? Is it bad to ask or bad to keep going like no, come on, please. If he get asked one time, is that actually bad? If he goes, if you said it's hot and he goes, it will take off your shirt, you won't be as hot. Is that necessarily a full-on creep move?
No.
Especially if they have history.
They have history.
Not if they don't know each other. Like if I don't know this particular girl,
But
she
it's
comes-
but it's already been stated that she not fucking with it.
But she's still fucking with it.
But she not. At that point in time,
Yes, she is.
wasn't.
And here's the thing too. We're going to go since they have history. It's all this a game. It's all this hard to
Cat
get.
and mouse.
Right?
All day.
The type of
But then
person-
that,
She's
okay,
playing that bullshit
You do that
cat and
and
mouse
mouse shit if you want to. You're gonna be sharing a bunk with.
No.
Bubba.
And I see what Brendan's saying. Not necessarily. That cat and mouse game that you're talking about with somebody that you don't know, that you don't have a history with, that y'all haven't slept with together, or was in a
that still
prior
hasn't made out with you
relationship.
twice
That
in the last 5 episodes.
That doesn't give you grounds to do that. That's all that is. Like I don't care.
I think it
There's
depends
women-
on your relationship.
There's women
Ice.
that I've been
You're
with, and I
speaking-
can't.
You're speaking this
That's true.
objectively.
That's true. And yeah, exactly.
You're speaking objectively. We're
it-
saying subjectively, this
Yeah.
could be their relationship
how?
that she
How do
wants.
you know that?
Because she ends up in his bed, Ice.
But still,
What are you talking about? If
That's
she really
true.
was not about this life and
That's
really
over
didn't
time.
want any of
And-
this shit,
and
why
over
would
that,
she be
you can-
kissing him
you
back?
can- no,
Why
you
would she
can
be
wear
fucking
somebody
him?
down? Some
Why
people
would
just
she be
give
fucking
in.
him and kissing him back
Some
if she
people
didn't
just
want
give
it?
in.
The boss of the entire fucking organization just gives
she
in.
gave in. That's
Oh,
what it
oh,
looks
I
like.
so weak.
No.
and
I don't think she
powerless.
gave in. Exactly. I don't think she gave in like that. I think
She's
they.
a boss.
I think they both have feelings for each other, and
It's complicated.
Even if it came to that, you still don't have. Like I don't care what kind of
this
history
isn't the
you
fight
have.
for today, just for the
I
record.
know. I'm just saying.
This
it
is
might
not the
be. I
fight.
don't. It's funny because after whenever this gets brought up between Rob and I, it might not even go this hard. But go ahead.
I don't think it will.
It might not. But here's the thing, Ice. I see what you're saying, and I understand.
it will.
Maybe because even the job that you have, you fighting hard for this. And I'm not disagreeing in a sense of, but in their particular relationship, I'm not talking about going up to hit in the situation with the girl in that room. Fuck that shit. Like that's completely off. We don't know.
I conceded that.
We don't know the context of their history. We don't know the background of their history. So we don't know if this has been their relationship since the beginning.
But
Right?
she's already. All we can go off of is what's being seen, and
Yeah.
what's being seen is
It's
she's
her
not
actions
fucking
are
with it.
she's making
or
out with
she
him
is
multiple
fucking with
times
it.
But
and literally fucking with
But
it.
she's
literally
given,
fucking
but
with
she's
it.
her. But she's not been
Is that wrong?
100% with it. She still
What
has
is not
her
100%?
She has her own reservation.
Coming to your house to have sex with you is not with it?
after 20 episodes.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? But it's like you're
This is
saying after
over
all these
time.
horrible, all these horrible
acting-
things he did,
you-
being a horrible person
you
that she
acting
obviously
like-
didn't want,
you acting
she
like all
ended
that
that
stuff
with
happened
the
in
cherry
one
on the
time.
cake by going and having sex with him.
After
That
all of
doesn't
this
make
stuff,
sense, Ice.
it's over
Your
the course
argument
of 20
doesn't make sense.
It does. If you're saying, hey, you saying, hey, take your shirt off. Hey, I'm kissing you while I'm telling you to stop. And then now
She did not tell him to stop while they were kissing. acting.
And on
She
top
said
of
it
that,
afterwards. Every time she's like afterwards, like, I don't know if we should have done that.
And after he said all of that, she could have went with him and done something. She decided to leave the elevator and say, "Get the fuck out of my face."
And then
if she
go
was
to
really
his
about
house
it,
and have sex with him.
that was 5-6
And
episodes
how much,
later.
what is time in this show? Like, we don't even know how long.
At
that
least
is.
it was 31 days. That was you
Yeah.
saw that, so it was
Yeah,
been
yeah.
a good. It was
But
a
the thing
good
is,
been a
like,
month or so.
also the
When
way,
it's time,
Been about a
also,
days.
the way that it's
No,
presented in
shut
the,
up.
and also
You
the
said
way
it had
and the
31
way
days.
the sex is presented.
It took him a whole month at
Even like
least.
the way the sex is presented
Oh
to
my
me
God.
doesn't feel like it's the first time they were doing it since this show started.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what
they
I'm
had
saying.
they lived together.
No, I'm saying not since this show started, not
Oh
since
my-
before they were dating. I'm saying it's like,
But did you see
wasn't-
it? Has there been anything that said before that showed that they
in
had
that
sex?
moment, the way they were
No.
talking about, she's
only
like,
thing that we could see
okay,
is her
look,
rejecting him at the elevator.
Okay.
she's rejecting the idea of what occurred. She was
But I'm just
rejecting
saying,
him.
if she was
There's a
fucking
big
with him
difference.
to the
She's
extent
saying,
that you're
we
saying,
should not do this.
If
And
she
then he
was fucking
says,
with him as the extent
really?
that you saying,
your
she
words
would've-
and your
well,
actions
here-
aren't
here-
matching
here-
up.
here's
You
the
are in
thing-
juxtaposition right
Here's
now.
the thing then. Do you think she would have, like, after all this stuff happened, I know, after
Yeah.
all this stuff happened, do you think she would call this a Me Too moment herself?
No,
No, I don't think she would.
No, no,
definitely not.
So,
there's-
now,
that's the
so now at
argument.
that point, is it one?
Yeah, that's
now
the point.
other
It's
girl,
up to
now
her.
now the other girl, absolutely.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
it's up to her how she feels about what occurred.
And she
And
made
you
that
just
clear.
agreed that she would not say that it's Me Too. She would not say that.
But
So
it's still,
that's
but
what
just 'cause
matters.
she
It's
was,
up to her.
But that's still a Me Too.
You're taking away the power
no,
from
you
her.
look. I'm looking at it objectively. If you say you're looking at it objectively, that's taking all that shit out of it and just looking how he's acting. That's some Me Too ass shit.
But we're saying the person that it's occurring
But
to.
like
is
you
it
said,
that
if
to
you
them?
keep saying look at it objectively, looking at it objectively, and
I
not
still don't
put
think
on-
it is.
That's some Me Too
Because
ass shit.
I think with
is
Brennan,
men
I think, yeah, I think-
using power
you-
to
but
get
you- but I'm
women
saying
to
you-
do the things they want them to do sexually. She
It's not-
has the power.
It's not necessarily power. Is not always.
That's 100% what the Me Too movement's
It's
about.
not
Is
only
men
power.
abusing their powers to sexually abuse women.
No,
Tell me
it's
that's not true.
Power in the
I
sense
don't
of
know if it's
rank.
100%.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
it's
not
just
it.
in the
Yeah.
workplace because
yeah,
it was a
yeah.
lot of
I
like,
didn't
no,
say in the
I too have
workplace.
been sexually
I didn't say in
abused
the workplace.
by
Joe
somebody
Rogan.
I know.
Wasn't
No,
Joe
no, no,
Rogan
no,
who
no.
said Joe Rogan apologized for doing the same shit because he knows he's a famous guy and he
But-
took advantage
right.
of women using
That's just
his
one scenario,
that's
though.
power.
Me Too
Yeah.
is
Me
about
Too is
sexual
yeah.
abuse
Harvey
to women
Weinstein,
in
You can
general.
be at
Harvey
the
Weinstein
bottom.
used his power as the boss.
But
He's
I'm
like, I can
saying
get you in this movie.
You can be at
if
the
you
bottom.
suck my
You
dick.
can be at the bottom of the totem pole and still be Me Too.
Yeah, you could be pretty much. He's saying you could be a broke
You
ass
can-
scumbag.
Yeah, and still
Right.
use me and do
And that,
Me
I
Too.
agree with that. I agree.
All I'm
So
saying,
her being up high in nerve has nothing to do with the situation.
it has a lot to do with the
Here's what I
situation.
think. Like I think what we just discussed. One, I think it depends on the relationship of the people, right? We disagreed. We just all agreed that she would not call us a Me Too movement,
Yeah, she would.
right? If you look at it from
she's trash herself.
right, she is. If you look at it from an outer scope, the actions of how he's doing things
Is it Me Too? Yeah,
is that.
right. And that's
Yeah.
all I've been saying.
I don't think we disagree with that.
I only
No.
agreed with the one the one time with the one random chick. Everything else I do not agree with.
Okay.
Well-
So, but I honestly can see on both ends. But from technically this would not be one because of their relationship and how they view each other and they're cool with each other doing this. Clearly, right?
That's just their relationship.
Right. So, it's like if you go up to a girl, you go up to your girl and you smack her ass in public. Somebody gonna be like, "Oh, that's some Me Too shit." But like this, I'm fucking her. Back off. Like she's cool with this shit.
She's cool with it.
So
She
that's
turns
not a
around-
Me Too. That's
she
not a
turns
Me.
around
That's,
like,
that's not technically a
"Stop."
Me Too movement. Now you go to
But you can't-
you go to a random girl and you do that, you're gonna have a whole series of issues after that. So
But that don't just because that's their relationship that doesn't always is like something like that. That's fine. But you think about abuse. You can't be like, oh, that's just their relationship.
Yeah.
no,
Like if I
no,
knock my girlfriend out and she gets back
no,
up
no,
and
no, no,
stays with me,
That's against the law, nigga. That's
But
That's the different. That's
That's
different.
different.
not at all. If they be like, oh, that's their relationship, or if I assault
But
her,
the thing
what if
he's
I
not-
verbally assault her?
You mean like
I
she
always
does to
call-
him? Like she
always
does to him
call-
all the
if
time?
I always call my girl a bitch. If I'm always like, yeah, this bitch, and she's okay with it, you can't be like, you gonna be like, Ice, you're tripping. You calling your girl a bitch?
if that's their
But you-
relation.
but if I say Keenan, that's our relationship though. You still gonna be
If
like,
she
yo,
was just-
you're
if
tripping.
your girl came
Bro,
to you
no,
and said,
I
this is
can't.
what I want you
I
to
can't.
do.
There's people out there that like, if you're dating somebody, like let's say it was like, let's say in the context of like a stripper or somebody like that dating a dude, and that's like he calls her a bitch, and just like, and that's what they call each other, like bitch, and that's my nigga and stuff like that. That's the rules of the relationship is different. Now, if you're talking about physically hurting somebody or mentally bashing
Or
somebody,
so then
that's different.
Hey, guys.
But
I'd like to get through these episodes.
Yeah, I'm
at some point
like-
today.
these episodes. Here's the thing: these episodes can be ran through easy because
No,
at least
let's run through them then. We'll get back to this then. Let's get back to it. Let's run through that.
Yeah, we'll talk about.
I
This
mean,
is an anime podcast.
technically
We've been
it comes
talking
back
about
up.
the Me Too movement
It'll
for
come
20
back.
minutes.
No, but it's still
gonna
in the
come
context
back.
of
It's gonna
anime
come
though.
back.
No,
Because
I
we're
know,
talking
I
about two
know.
anime
It's gonna
characters.
come back. It's
Yeah,
gonna come back. Rob, what's up?
So anyway, at the beginning of the first episode we watched for this stretch, they go into another test, which Shinji did super well on, and they're like, Shinji, you're the best, you're number one. He's feeling pretty good about himself for like
Cocky
the
motherfucker.
first time, I
Right,
think, on this
yeah.
anime.
Being a bitch.
And so, of course, an angel does show up, and like fucking in the locker room, Ahsoka is like talking a whole bunch of shit to Rey about it, like
Yeah.
you know, fuck that dude out there, you know.
Yeah.
And so they get into the field, like when they're an actual angel shows up, and it's just this like sphere floating through the air.
That's probably my favorite. No, my favorite one was at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah.
So they're just like, Shinji's just like, all right, like, no, actually it's Ahsoka that suggests like, hey, Shinji, you're the best. Why don't you go first? And he's like, yeah, all right, I guess I'll do that.
This- you know
That
what?
played it back against her too.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? This is why his dad shits on him. Because you see how cocky he got so quickly
Yeah.
over a
Yeah.
little bit of
Immediately.
love.
Yeah,
Immediately.
I see why. Good job, Pops. Tough love, baby. I love it.
Yeah.
So he steps out. He's like, all right, I got this. Misato's even like, Shinji, I don't know if that's such a good idea. He's like, nah, I got it. Pops around the corner. He's got like a little 9mm pistol now that they give these
Yeah,
Evas.
yeah.
And he's like, pops a few shots off at it. It goes right through because it turns out that's actually its shadow. And then what we thought was its shadow moves underneath him and then completely envelops him and like sucks him into some other like dimension or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And
this
he's
seems like
just
a
gone.
theme for these episodes, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say that I do kind of like I said. I think I said this on the last episode, the last show. I do like the fact that all these angels are different. They do different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
They operate differently.
Yeah.
It's probably the highlight of the show for me.
And it makes it to where it makes it where you can't just be like, all right, this is how we kill angels. It's like, nah, fam, it's not
Yeah.
how you kill angels.
It's something
you
different.
got to
every
figure
time.
out shit every single time.
Just for the record, Asuka ain't shit.
Yeah,
She's
no,
not.
she's
I'm gonna say
Oh,
that
yeah.
every single episode.
She's not.
She's
She
one of my. If we were
Yeah,
like,
she's a
if, we,
terrible
if
person.
the next time that we do one of those like in between episodes, we're talking about like our favorite and least favorite characters in anime.
Asuka's one of
She
them.
is
Yeah.
easily like
Yeah.
at this moment I can't think of a character in anime. Period.
Does
I'm
she
like,
have
I
bodies
like.
on her though now?
She's got one. She killed at least one or two angels.
No,
Yeah.
she killed
killed
the
the-
one underwater, but
Yeah.
she
the one. No, because she helped out with the one underwater, the one
Yeah.
in the volcano,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think she was the one that plunged the knife into the one that like fell from space.
Yeah.
Though it was like group effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's never done it by herself. And
So
the
she
time that
got,
she
like-
did do it by herself, she was gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, it was a kamikaze effort. So
So
for
she
me,
got what? She got
she doesn't
three?
have any like. You
Technically,
can't
she
say.
has
Yeah.
I would say it
assisted.
depends on how you count them. So it's like if it was like NFL and it was a sack, she gets a half
half
point.
a
on
sack,
this one.
yeah.
So right now she has like 1.5.
Yeah,
One
she got-
point five
she got
sacks.
She has
1.5
she has
bodies.
as many as as Shinji does,
Yeah.
you know, on a bad day.
Yeah.
I love honestly out of this show. I love Ray the most.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's with it. She's
Ray goes
actually
hard.
her character development is pretty decent too.
I
Yeah.
like Ray. I mean, yeah. I mean, you guys know who my favorite character is. I mean,
Yeah, we do.
His his character development, by the way.
Yeah.
actually, he does have.
He
development.
does have
a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
He actually
yeah,
does.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they lose all contact with Shinji, and they're like, shit, his life support is going to shut off in like 12 hours.
Yep.
So this is already a ticking clock. We got to get on.
Can you
this.
imagine being in Shinji's place right there, though?
Oh,
Like,
man,
that's one
no,
thing
that
that when I was
sucks.
watching this episode, I was like, imagine being a 14-year-old kid that is now the savior of the world because you've killed a bunch of angels, and this new angel shows up. You fall into a pit of blackness, and now you switch your thing to life support mode, and you're literally in a capsule of liquid that you cannot leave. You have no idea if anyone's going to save you. You have no communication, and you have 14 hours to live.
And you're just watching the clock go down.
You're sitting there
Yeah.
watching the clock. Can you
Nothing
imagine?
you can do about it.
Like I just try to imagine like the mental,
psyche of that.
the psyche of it, because
I
it's just
agree.
like I would
Yeah.
be so beyond freaked out. Like I wouldn't like the thing is, Ice would call me a bitch because Ice likes to call Shinji a bitch, but I just would love to see 14-year-old Ice put into that situation and see how he
That
reacts.
particular situation is different. Some of the other situations he's been a bitch.
I'm talking about
But
this
that-
particular situation.
Yeah, this situation. I
This
think
situation
anybody,
is
grown or
anybody.
young,
Yeah,
Even me right
yeah.
now, I'd be like,
I'd be
sitting
like,
there
dog, this is-
You got to
fuck.
figure it out.
and I'm real.
Yeah.
I'm real big on psyche. I'm real big on the mind like that. So I can't imagine you can't even do shit. I'm like, yo, I'm just slowly dying here.
Yeah, I'd have a couple hours of sanity, and after that, I don't know. I can't tell you what it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
Take a
like,
nap.
12
That's it, go to sleep.
hours is some shit. I mean, it was 16 total, so it's like
Something like that, yeah.
16 hours. Like fuck, man, just chilling. Like,
What-
He
what
said
happens
he
when you gotta
slept,
poop?
and he just
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
never thought
so,
sleeping.
well, yeah,
could
he
be
walked.
so
Yeah, he woke
exhausting.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
he woke up. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And just was like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry. That to me, that moment, I was
crazy.
You got to try to figure
He's
something out.
basically drowning in slow motion as like the liquid becomes more and more
dense
like,
and like
breathe
less
it.
oxygen.
Oh, fam, I would have died. I would have snapped my own neck.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
me personally, because I can't swim, and I
Is that a
panic.
thing?
I panic.
Oh,
I
you
don't know-
wouldn't be able to be in this Eva anyway.
Yeah. I would have panicked.
Yeah.
Episode 1, I would have panicked out the
Oh,
gate.
the water.
I think,
yeah.
I think they even mentioned in another
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
Shinji can't swim either because
Oh,
and he's just it's
'Cause
like
they
bodies
had
weren't
him-
meant to float or something.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
said that. Yeah, he said that too.
For
I
me-
took a picture of it.
For me, it's not
So-
even about swimming. For years upon years, I couldn't even put my head under the shower for longer than 5 seconds. Under the shower head while I was running without hyperventilating.
Dang.
That's how bad, because I almost drowned twice
You
as
know,
a
you
kid.
can't ever be in the military.
Can you swim now?
No, I can't.
Ah.
People even they've attempted, and I can't even doggy paddle. I can't do anything.
I'm the same way, bro.
And,
And then people be like, "Oh, you're an athlete. You can't swim." Like, the fuck does that even?
Hey.
That's not even
How
synonymous.
fast can you run 100
Somebody-
dash?
Exactly. somebody was like, "Yo, what if your kid falls in the water?" I'm like, "Well, I'm making a new kid. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you." But
I'm gonna have somebody that
throw
can
him a noodle.
Yeah.
Like,
Something.
why
That's
would
why I'm
I?
saying throw a rope or some shit.
If it's around, but I'm not gonna jump in there and kill us both. That's stupid, right?
Oh my god! I'm at least try. If I'm the only person
All right,
around,
so I'd like to point out. I just want to point out that I can swim quite well. Just for the melanin.
You read
Congratulations.
a
Yeah,
book
and I
about
appreciate you.
Huh?
You read a book about swimming?
I did actually. That's what did it. No, the thing is actually my dad was just like you guys. He wasn't able to swim, and he's like, I'm not gonna let my kids be like this. So he put us in swimming lessons since I was like 2. So it's like now I was like a junior lifeguard and all that kind of shit. So
I can see.
I'd
your
probably do the same thing with
ass
my
being
job.
a lifeguard.
In my,
I can
see that
like,
too.
You a lifeguard ass motherfucker.
Yeah,
I've
I
had
can
to
see
hey,
that.
no running.
in all honesty, I've actually had to use like CPR stuff a couple times. Like, yeah.
Oh shit,
Yeah, it gets real. So yeah,
that's intense, man.
I was the manager.
Way to
of
go
a gym.
dark.
I was
Way to go
there
dark.
you go. I was the manager of a
Thank you.
gym when I was in college, and like some people went down, and I was the person who's the manager of the gym is the one who's responsible for being the first responder.
Yeah.
So we were trained to do that. So like it wasn't actually at the pool. Well, one of them was at the pool. One of them was in the gym. So I actually had to do twice.
So is Shinji really a bitch then? If Shinji,
That's where I was about to get back to.
Yeah, is Shinji really
Can't
a bitch?
swim. We're fighting giant monsters in liquid.
He's a bitch. There's no.
Doubling down.
You can't. You got. All right, you got to
Rob,
fight
hold on
your
a second. Hold on a
argument
second,
at least. Go ahead.
Rob.
What?
I just want to know your opinion. Is Shinji a bitch?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He's definitely had some bad moments where he throws in the towel like on some weak shit. But I think
yes.
overall, like when the time comes and the cards are down, like he's there.
He's had some hoe ass moments.
But
for
his
sure.
his great his
He's
overcoming.
14.
Exactly. That's for me. I'm like, if this is a grown man who's been trained to fight as a military
everybody
soldier,
in the anime world, that's a protagonist is 14. So you can't. That's not an argument. You can't
Yu
say
Yu
that.
Hakusho, you like
Everybody,
Yusuke ain't no
Naruto,
bitch, dog.
no.
He's a
Everybody-
gangster.
everybody
this is
is
probably the
14.
most realistic depiction of a 14-year-old we've seen.
Yeah.
He looks like a 14-year-old. He acts like a 14-year-old.
Yeah, because we've said those guys from Yu Yu are
They're
like
not
grown
14-year-olds.
men.
Mob-
They call them 14 or
Mob
15-year-olds.
Is it what? Mob is not even 14. He's like 12 or 13 or something like
Mob
that.
has-
Mob's middle school.
Yeah.
Soul-crushing like telekinesis powers and
But I'm
exercise
saying he
powers.
like
this
no.
kid is a kid.
Everybody, Naruto, everybody, like any freaking
Yeah, but it's like
Goku
Naruto.
when he
The
was
thing
a-
is, Naruto and all
he's
them
a-
is like, oh, let me go train to do this. Like he didn't have any of that. He showed up,
But
but they
they
were like,
still-
get
like,
in
this is
here,
all
and save
the
the world.
This
all
is a
the
kid
peoples.
clearly with zero athletic ability, zero fighting ability, zero will to do any of those things.
Zero knowledge of what the fuck is going on.
That's,
Right.
You can't rationalize.
So
that,
you're going off, and I understand what you're saying. You're probably even going off where you're from, right? So you coming from the neighborhood that you're from, so your mentality is completely different, right? Then being an athlete, when you're an athlete and you're a high level athlete, when you got scholarships for college, your mentality is completely different as a competitor. So this kid is none of that. He's none of that.
Yeah.
Like he's
And
like,
he's 14.
he's probably
legit
the
14.
average. Like he said, he's probably the average actual 14-year-old. Whereas you're
if
not because of that.
True, but if you give somebody like the fact that the whole world is at stake, that should just be your clicker to be like, all right.
Now
let me get my
I
shit
agree.
together.
I do agree.
And no,
in
it's
that
funny.
sense.
It's funny you say that because what does he do?
He
He shows the fuck up.
But he it
shows the
technically,
fuck
it
up.
it takes some tugging and pulling.
But
to
it
get
doesn't
him
matter
there.
what it takes. He saved the
does.
world.
No, it
You're
does
like,
take
I don't
that.
like the way he saved the world. That makes him a
Especially-
bitch.
no, it's
Like,
not
no,
how-
thank you.
if
Thank you,
somebody-
Shinji.
if somebody
Thank you.
had
What
to
you
do
should
all
be
of that
saying
stuff
is
is-
thank you, Shinji.
No, one, I don't live in Tokyo 3, so I don't have to say.
I'm
shit.
just saying.
First of
I'm
all.
just saying, if you're going to judge this man, judge all of him.
No.
That's it.
He's a
Let me
bitch.
rephrase that.
If
If
you
you
got
judge this boy,
if-
judge all of him.
if I don't care if somebody gets the game winning sack or the game winning shot, but I gotta fucking spend 5 minutes on the sideline telling them that they can do it. Like I can't do that every fucking game. Every game I gotta tell you like you can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
You know the cool thing about like football players is that they choose to be there and that they understand the game of football because they chose to play a sport. He didn't choose. He
could have left.
That's a good argument.
That's true.
He could have left.
That's true.
And he tried to leave.
He tried to leave, but then the world would end.
But then
he did
somebody
everything
had
he didn't want to do.
Somebody had to coach him back
because he didn't want to do it.
Okay,
that doesn't make him a
but
bitch. I wouldn't want to do it now.
Okay, he should have left. He should have stayed gone.
And then everybody dies.
Here's the thing. I get both arguments.
I don't.
I see where Ice is coming from.
I don't.
At this point in time, especially 20 episodes in, it's like, bruh, still
right.
Yeah.
Still, fam.
Like you're still on this. You still bitching
what
up.
We
You're
just
still
finished
crying. You're
talking
still
about?
doing
No,
that.
Right now, chronologically, we are still in the black void that he had to sit in for 16 hours.
No. Not,
That's where we are right now.
I'm just talking about him being a bitch.
And
Right.
I'm saying,
Just
you're saying
overall.
20 episodes
And
in.
and on top of this, think about comparison to the other pilots that's around him.
You
Ray,
mean the
with
overzealous chick
Ray is
that
with the
loses
shits.
almost every fight?
Ray is with
Ray
the
that
shits.
can't control shit.
Asuka is with the shits, and then later when they bring dude in, he's blind to it too. But he's
both of
with
them are
the
crazy.
shit.
They're crazy.
Everybody, all the pilots
They're
around
crazy.
him that's
he
the
didn't
same
want to do it.
age.
The new guy didn't want to do it.
You have
the guy
two-
didn't want to do it. The redhead chick
But
is
he wasn't-
crazy.
he wasn't
legit,
crying
and
about
none of
it.
us like her. And Ray probably isn't a human being.
He said,
I'm just saying, it's like you're
like a
giving us
robot.
the examples that don't make sense.
It does make
they
sense.
They don't compare.
There's two women. She has
what
a
does that
lot,
have to do with anything?
'cause
It's two
that's-
people. It's four people. that we're
Oh,
talking
we out here
about.
being sexist?
No,
it's not about that it's
no,
women.
it's not
It's
about
the
being
Me Too
sexist.
movement?
No, it's not
Uh-oh.
about being sexist. But I'm saying,
Why does it matter if they're women, Ice?
Because you're using age, and it's like, okay,
What do you mean
you
age?
have-
What does sex have to do with it?
Because it's like I said, stuff
What does
like
that have to do
that.
with
If you
it?
say you put a woman in those situations,
What do you
and
mean
it's
put
like,
a woman in those situations? I don't
because
get it.
at that time, you say you looking at, especially in the '90s,
This
like
is
we're
a
talking about.
14-year-old boy.
I'm just saying, it's still you putting a young woman, two women there with the shits,
It's people. at
and
this
you
point.
put
you
another
put him
guy.
in a giant fighting robot. It doesn't
Okay,
matter their sex.
At that age, when you're like early teens, I think the playing field physically is still pretty even.
But I'm just saying, it's the fact of like, especially during that time, if you have a woman doing something, it's like women don't like take. I mean, with the show, you have women that's in charge, but
You're
like,
just digging a hole right now.
it's
bro.
not digging a hole. I'm just saying, you taking
You're
two
digging a
women
hole.
that.
Masako, what's her name again? I forgot her name. Masato, she's literally the biggest boss in this bitch.
Right.
Probably one of the most gangsters in
Yeah,
it.
and then
you got, but
Ritsuko.
then even
Ritsuko was the
And
second
remember,
biggest boss.
remember, this is 2015.
but
Yeah.
they're putting
this
it.
is-
But
this
the
is
people
based in
that's writing
2015.
it are still in the '90s.
Yeah, it's
Right,
90.
so they're still in the
but they're-
mindset of.
Then why do
women
we
are-
have two of
are-
the bosses of this entire operation as women?
But I'm
If you're
saying,
saying women can't handle it,
but you saying that a 14-year-old can't handle it.
Yes,
so
I
I'm
am, and I
basing
stand
it
by
off of
that.
So you saying
I'm
a
saying my
14-year-old
grown
boy
ass wouldn't be able to
and-
handle it.
You having a 14-year-old boy, and you also have a 14-year-old girl, and two of them.
It doesn't
both of
matter
them
that
are
it's a
with the
boy or a
shits and he
girl.
not. And then
one of them is not a human being, and one of them is
we gotta go
absolutely
off one
crazy.
because one might not be human.
Okay, still,
gotta
she's
go off
with the
one.
shits. And then,
But what happens?
And then you take the other dude,
It's
that
like,
the
which
fourth pilot.
which person would you rather have on your team? The person that's crazy enough to run in there and then fuck it up, or the person that's like, I don't think we should be doing this and I don't want to do it, but actually saves the planet? Which one do you want on your
but
team?
no, it's still. He's crying.
Answer the goddamn question.
that. I
Who
wanna
do you
hear
want
that.
on your team?
You know, if you saying
Who
somebody
do you want
that-
on your
no,
team?
if you have
Ice?
somebody
Yes,
sitting there crying,
one or two.
If
Who
I
do you
gotta,
want?
If I got to coach him, I want the other person.
You want the
Because
person
if
that's
you
gonna
sit
lose.
there and cry all the
So
fucking
you'd rather
time, 'cause they're gonna come,
you'd rather
they're-
let somebody run out
you're-
there be an idiot and lose than coach somebody to
Ice,
victory.
this is Ice.
You're the
gonna have-
worst coach
you're gonna have-
in history.
you're gonna
who's
have
also
somebody-
sexist in this moment.
No, I'm not sexist. I'm
It's a
basing
woman.
it
Look
off-
at the tables
that
It's a
turned
woman.
for
Oh,
Brennan.
We can't
No.
put this on a woman.
And
I'm just
then
saying, y'all coming at me about this Me Too shit.
because you a
And he
bitch,
over here-
just like the
and
character.
he's over here talking about women. These women, because it's a girl, it shouldn't be like no.
Like I'm saying,
that doesn't
how-
matter.
It does.
This
matter.
is
If you put-
world-saving, giant fighting robots.
So then, so then why we don't have women on the front lines in our military?
I think we do now. Actually, that
And
actually
what,
happened.
And this is what year is this?
It's after 2015.
It's
after
2019,
2015.
right? But it's not the 90s which this was written.
I don't
right?
know if it was
shut
because
the fuck
I don't know
up.
necessarily because women could. I think that's how society viewed women. There was always women out there that can do those type of
I
things.
didn't say they weren't. What I'm saying is how this stuff is set up and how those
The
conditions
first
are
pilot
for
of
them.
this, the first pilot of Eva was a what?
An alien.
You don't know. You
Or
just said
not-
it.
not
You
even.
know. Now
We
you
don't know
use
what
your-
she is.
An
Now
alien.
you using
An
your
alien.
own statement
An
against
alien.
yourself.
An alien
We don't
posing
know.
as a woman.
You just killed your whole
Okay,
argument.
the second pilot was a what?
What you
Was
said,
a woman.
Who?
what's her name? The redhead chick.
Asuka?
She was training to do it long before Shinji even knew those things existed. So the first two were women. So that completely demolishes your entire argument.
you said that. You
First one and a half.
Right. Now it's half.
That completely demolishes
But then,
your argument.
Okay, then you take the
Your argument is like, oh,
you
they
take
don't
the-
put women in the front
you
line. So
take-
the first
you
two
take-
people they chose to do it were women. And
You
you're saying
take
that the
four-
women
you
thing.
And
take-
remember, they said it's never been about. Yeah, it's never. And we have to speed through the
Yeah.
episode.
It's gonna
no
have to
problem,
be-
'cause these arguments are great for the stuff. But I think what Brendan is saying is that when they went out and got pilots, I don't even think they were looking for women.
It was
They
just
didn't care
whoever
about
synced-
gender.
They were looking
synced
for
better.
teenagers
Yeah.
because teenagers, I guess, operate this better, right?
Because they came
Yeah.
before this, the impact.
Right. So that's all that
They came
matters.
after. They
So
were
they
going
didn't
after
even
the
So
take
impact.
that-
gender has nothing to technically do with this.
But it has to do with the person, not why they picked them, the person. So then you have a society at that time where women are not on the front
So
lines.
you're not talking about the society of the show. You're talking about the society of people who wrote the show.
The society overall, period.
That,
If you
that's,
just
that's
think
too,
it-
that's
Nah,
too, that doesn't make
because
sense.
we don't know the society
I don't know what
of
you're talking
how
about
the
now.
women are in this particular thing. Clearly, the women in this show are strong women.
Extremely
Right.
strong.
So,
But it's-
and if you're coming from the writing standpoint, they might have even been thinking progressively in that sense, saying.
So
by
then, at
time
the
then,
writer
it should be.
standpoint, you got to think of like 14-year-olds being able to do shit like that. So you can't do half and half. You
It's
can't
like
be
wasn't half of humanity wiped out? It's like we can't be beggars can't be choosers. It's like we got
Right.
who we got.
Yeah,
But what y'all doing is y'all pick and choosing what y'all want to use the argument for. You saying, oh, well, he's 14, this and that. But then when I talk about women, you're like, oh no, you got to think about it how it's right. Like
I don't.
you got to
I
do
mean,
it
here's the thing.
all
I,
in one.
with,
Like,
you're
with the
taking this.
14-year-old argument of Shinji, I agree. And with this particular moment where he's in the void, I think anybody gonna be fucked up mentally.
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But talking about overall on the show, whether he's came through or not,
He's had bitch moments for
still
sure.
a bitch.
He's had bitch moments.
Like I
for
said,
sure.
you
No, I
can
think
hit
you
the-
just because
no,
you
you
have
can-
bitch moments doesn't make you a bitch.
Of course, no. If you have consistently bitch moments, you are a
I think the
bitch.
consensus would be that you would be a bitch if you have.
Yeah.
If you have.
But I'm just saying, though,
Consistently
like-
bitch moments.
I'm just saying though, but it's like so the hero moments don't overshadow shit.
No, you still
That's
a
what I'm
bitch.
saying. Like, there's a balance to this.
if
Like, this man
you-
has saved the planet so many times. He
If-
showed
if
up in the
you-
moment that you need him so many times.
But
When he
he-
could have
he
just been
cried
like,
the
"Oh
whole
God, I
way.
can't do it. We're
Which
gonna
he
die,"
did.
and then die.
He did.
But I'm saying, but then he didn't die.
But
I'm
then
saying
he
though,
had
when
to
he
get-
really,
somebody
really,
had to
really
get
needed
pull
him,
him.
when we really, really, really needed him, he was there.
He's
He
still a
showed
bitch.
up and
And
he handled business.
you
So
can
for me,
still-
you
you
can
can-
say I don't like the way he got approached it.
you can
I don't
be-
like the way he said
you
things
can
about
be
it.
a
But when he
bitch.
showed up and handled his business, you can't
can
say
still
shit
be a
to
bitch.
him.
That's the thing. You can still be a bitch. You can
you
handle
ha-
business.
if you
can
show
be
up
an
and handle
undefeated
shit-
fighter and you can still be a bitch. Like you're
Can
a
you
bitch.
be?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
All right, Rob, please continue.
So
No, hold on. No, I want to say this.
Wait,
no,
no,
it's-
fuck that.
What do you
And
mean?
no.
What do
The
you mean as a
fourth, the fourth pilot, they even asked him. They said, "Hey."
He was so
they
excited
told
about.
him-
Remember how much fun he had when he was excited to
told
do it?
They told him, "Hey, you about to be a pilot." They put
We
him
didn't
in
even get there.
basically-
How about we get there? How about we get there?
No, I'm
chronologically?
saying it now because we gonna blaze through the episodes anyway.
Pretty
So
much.
like
we have to, yeah.
the fourth pilot, surprise, there's a fourth pilot, guys. But they told him, "You got to be in here," and he was just like, they said, "How did he react?" He said, "Okay." He didn't really care.
I'll say
A lot
No.
different from how
he
Shinji
negotiated.
acted.
Yeah, because Shinji showed up in the middle of a fucking crisis, didn't even know there was such thing as an EVA. This guy knows the EVAs. He knows multiple pilots of those EVAs, and he
And
didn't want to do it.
but he
did
said-
it to save his sister's life.
He said, "Okay, let me do it."
He did it. Yeah, he did it, but
And
it's
he
a
didn't
completely
cry
different
about it.
circumstance.
He
It's a
didn't
completely
cry.
different circumstance. What he did is negotiated the
He
life
didn't-
of
he
his
didn't- he
sister.
didn't
Right,
cry
right.
about
Shinji
it.
doesn't have anybody who cares about him in his life.
Now,
Shinji doesn't
that-
have
that is
any
completely
family
different.
that
is
gives a
completely
fuck about
different.
him.
If you feel like you have nothing to live for, you might like, wow, I don't want to do this shit. If I have family on the line, my fight or flight instinct kicks in. Fuck it.
fighting.
I'm
I'm
doing
saving
this for
my
my
sister.
family, even if I'm scared as hell.
Shinji
So then
doesn't
why?
have
So
that.
then,
Up.
so
Shinji
then
doesn't
why
have that.
didn't that kick in for Shinji? all
'Cause he
these
doesn't
other
have
episodes?
that.
He doesn't have all them people that came. That
All the people in this show that interact with Shinji are just people who are doing it because he's the EVA pilot. They say that in the
He
show.
said that,
Yeah.
but he has ties to them now. And
Now
he didn't even
because
want
of
to
the
fight
EVA.
them.
And
He
only,
didn't
and
even wanna
only,
fight
honestly,
them.
this all
Masato,
came
like,
after
she's like the only
this
one that.
first thing.
Yeah.
she's
And he-
really the only one that likes him.
Yeah, she's the only one that
But
shows
he
any
didn't.
type
But
of
he
like
still.
family love.
But even that, with that in account, he still was a bitch. He still said fuck it. Even with her in mind, he said fuck it.
I don't know what you're talking about at this point.
I don't know. I think if it came to save her life, has it came to save her life for him?
No.
I think he was stepping to the plate and
But
bossed
he still.
up.
When has he
Easily.
not stepped up to the plate and bossed up even without that?
He had to cry.
When has he not? That's my point. He
Yeah.
stepped
He had
up
to
every
cry
fucking
and-
time. He
Yeah.
is the last line of defense.
Which
and
somebody-
he shows
but
up
you had to-
every
like I said,
single
if you
time.
gotta make
My
the-
man is better than Goku because Goku would die. Goku would die.
I mean, that's just how the show is.
That's what I'm saying though. But he
at
would
least
die.
Goku ain't no bitch.
Goku would have been dead.
At least Goku ain't no bitch.
Yeah,
Goku
but
definitely
I'd
no
rather
bitch.
have an alive person that performs than a dead person that was like, I was brave about it. Like, I'd rather have the alive person.
But
any
you
day of the
always
week.
crying because that crying, you at some point you're gonna succumb to that crying. At some point, you just gonna be like, "Nah, I'm good."
Well, let
at
me know.
some point.
Let me know when that happens because it hasn't.
It damn near did. He had to see fucking 2 people get blown up
Did it
for
happen,
him for him to do that.
Did he save?
And,
Did he save
and your
everybody?
boy had to talk him into it.
So did he save everybody?
I'm just saying, if that man's not there, he
Did he-
said,
did he
"Fuck
save
it."
everybody?
I see what you're saying.
I'm
but
just like-
Brennan's points are actually pretty fucking good because at the end of the day, the motherfucker has shown up.
But
every
I'm not
single
denying
job.
that.
Time.
He's still a bitch.
I think he has bitch tendencies for sure.
but
He's
not.
still a bitch.
All right.
Like,
I don't
This is the
disagree. I don't.
stupidest-
Yeah.
All right, please, Rob.
So their answer to get Shinji out of this thing as they're running out of time is they're going to basically drop all of the nukes that they have left on them, and
This is the dumbest strategy.
they're like, I
He's
guess we're
in
just
there.
going to nuke it.
Drop some nukes on him.
They
So-
don't even care. He don't care. His son
he
is
didn't
in
give a
there,
fuck.
dog.
That's it. He's a piece of shit. Next to fucking Gon's dad, Gene.
Yeah.
Fucking trash.
Yeah, so they're like, well, this is going to kill the
Goku's pretty
pilot. This is
bad,
going to
too.
kill everybody.
Goku
Like,
is
well, we
trash.
got to eliminate the angel, so that's what we got to do here. So that's going to come first. There's even like a moment too where basically Asuka tells Rey like, "Shit, Shinji got what he deserved," and then they almost
Man.
fucking went at it. 'cause
That
Rey
was right
just
there.
like,
That
you
was
watch your
trash,
fucking mouth.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't deal with Asuka, man.
Yeah.
No, she's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
She should honestly. She should have got socked out for that.
Yeah.
For
Hell
saying
yeah,
that
you
shit.
gotta-
Honestly,
Yeah.
if there was
Yeah.
one character in this show that died and I wouldn't care, Asuka.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
Like,
much.
Even if she goes out like a G because she wants to be there, I still would be like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't change the results of
should-
this
she
fight
should-
either way.
But I think
Doesn't change the results of
us
the fight.
being adults, we know what
Yeah.
she's doing that for. Like she's overcompensating for.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah,
So-
it's better
Yeah,
than being a bitch.
true.
As the life support is running out and like literally the Eva shutting down, Shinji ends up having this vision, and I think he realizes that it's his mom. And as that's happening, is basically right as the planes are going overhead, they're about to drop the bombs, but right before they do, the Eva goes berserk again and physically rips its way out of the angel, like
Which is
tearing it in
amazing.
Yeah,
half.
that was
It's
pretty
crazy.
tight.
And there was blood going everywhere. It's
There's
nuts.
blood everywhere. Yeah, he fucked shit up again.
Yeah, but so the next
Still a
episode,
bitch.
yeah, the next episode kind of dealing with the consequences of some of that. Well, actually, there's a whole other thing that's going on. So it turns out Nerve has got multiple bases all over the world, and there's a couple in the United States. One of
Yeah.
them in Nevada,
Yep.
where they were working on a fourth, or actually
Fourth.
a fifth Eva, right?
No,
Because
this is Eva 003.
003, I was reading, is in a different base in the U.S. in the Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
this
one
was
in
004.
Nevada, they
Yeah,
were
it was the
basically
fourth one.
trying to put like an engine into this
Yeah, the
fifth
the
Eva,
the
that-
S2.
the S2, which would allow it to be able to run indefinitely.
Yeah.
But it caused this crazy accident where there was a huge explosion,
They all
thousands
died.
of people died.
It
and
just
the-
vanished.
It's like
Yeah.
it was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the U.S. was just like, we don't want any part of these Eva things. Japan fucking
Tell me
take
that
it.
wasn't the
Right.
most United States thing ever.
Yeah.
They were like, they
Yes.
said they started building. Japan started building these Evas, and the
We
United
want
States was
some
like,
too.
"We want some too. What the fuck? Give us some." They were like, "Oh, okay, sure." And as soon as it goes bad, the United States is like, "Take this responsibility from
We don't
us."
want this anymore.
Yeah, it's like this was like the most
Classic.
American thing.
Yeah.
Get that shit out of my
I was
face.
So-
like, I want to get mad about it, but I was like, nah, that's real.
That sounds
real.
about right.
That's
yeah.
so real.
Yeah. So in the middle of all that, back at Nerve HQ, they're like, "All right, well, we got to prep for the next pilot," and so Misato and Ryoji kind of do their spy shit, and Ryoji lets her know that, basically this whole thing, this whole program to find these children is a fucking scam. That Nerve's running the whole thing, that Shinji's dad is running the whole thing. In fact, his whole entire class is basically candidates for pilots that have just been put into school together to keep them all in one
Makes
place.
sense.
Damn.
Makes
So-
sense.
So and through that, like we were saying, they do pick the next pilot, which is going to be Suzuhara, which is one of Shinji's friends,
Yep.
the one with the sister that's in the hospital,
The one that punched him in
and
the face.
the one that punched him in the face.
Yep.
And he's basically like, he does negotiate. He says, "Yes, I'll do it, but I want my sister taken to like the nerve hospital."
Did he
Like,
cry at all?
I think he just said, "Okay, I'll do it."
They didn't show his
Okay,
reaction.
that's okay.
So
I just want to make
He
sure.
did.
Yeah.
It looked like he was throwing a bunch of shit into a fire, standing in front of it silently, thinking and contemplating, and
He didn't
all
seem
kind of
happy.
pouting
Was,
on it.
was
Let's
there
put it
any
that way.
tantrums or any?
So I mean, there was because
No.
there was a lot of silent tantrums in the sense of like he's one of the most consistent people when it comes to eating. He eats every single day at the same place. Eats a crap ton of food. He doesn't eat
Yeah.
with his friends anymore. Doesn't talk to his friends anymore.
Yeah,
doesn't
they're
talk
all
to
like, he's being
anybody.
super
He's
weird.
suddenly depressed. He's being really weird. So I'm sure he was really excited. Please continue.
But
So-
but what did he cry?
We don't know
He
because
bitched
we weren't
about
there
it.
when they told him, so we
People,
don't know.
people handle emotions different. He probably cried internally.
Thank you,
There you
Keenan.
go. So
No, he didn't bitch up.
So they through that whole episode too, they kind of implied there's this romance kind of blossoming between Suzuhara and the class rep. And she basically offers to bring him lunches, and he's like, yeah,
He seems
It was
kind of
funny
oblivious.
how you finessed it into make it look like he was helping her. Like,
Yeah.
I guess you got all that security. That's wasting. I'll help you.
I guess
Right.
I'll help.
Yeah.
That's some Brennan ass shit right there. Like, let me
take
help
that.
you out. You helping me, but
Yeah.
I'm really helping you.
And like the crazy part is like everybody else, Ray, Asuka, Misato, everybody knows what's going on with Nerve
Except
right
him.
now,
Yeah.
except Shinji. They're keeping him completely in the dark, and he has to learn about it from his other nerdy friend. That's just like, hey, I heard like one of the Evas blew up, and Shinji's like,
what?
what? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
No, okay, and
Yeah.
they're bringing another one. There's gonna be another pilot. Like, oh, you don't say.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
I see.
I never knew.
I never knew.
And the next episode starts with his nerdy friend basically showing up, begging Misato to be like, "Oh, let me be the pilot." And it's like, dude, sorry, the position has been filled.
Yeah.
So, and they still haven't told Shinji what's going on with this.
She
but,
was about to tell him, and then he came to the door.
Yeah,
and
that's
was
right.
asking,
That's right.
Yeah.
So they're basically conducting a test that day to see how he syncs up with his Eva. They also back at Nerve HQ revealed that they're working on these dummy plugs that can basically, as they've been able to copy pilots' personalities or people's personalities onto technology, they've copied Ray's and put it on this dummy plug that they can remotely put into any.
That's
Probably
smart.
her personality is probably like what, a gigabyte?
That's the
Yeah.
best. That's the best.
The one
best,
that's all
the
about-
best dummy you
Yeah.
can get.
No,
She
I agree
got
because
that
she follows
action.
orders. Yeah,
Yes.
she follows
She doesn't
orders.
exist.
She's
Yeah.
a child
Double
soldier,
control, yeah.
basically.
Yeah,
So
arguably, or an alien.
So as they're conducting this test, which Misato's there, the blonde doctor, I forget her name, like Rasuka or something like that.
Yeah.
She got. she got.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
her face is
Ritsuko.
kind of red after all these episodes.
Things went bad for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's definitely knows more than what's going on, and Misato's
Exactly, yeah.
starting
Yeah,
to
she
turn on her,
seems-
be like, "What aren't you fucking telling me about
Slapped the
these evils?"
fuck out of her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she slapped the shit out of her.
did.
She deserved it
Yeah.
though.
She
You know,
did.
there's in all these type of things like this. I think when you're working in this type of field, there's levels to this shit.
But
Yeah.
she's second in command. She should know exactly what the doctor knows.
Yeah,
But she's not, and that's why she warranted.
yeah.
the
She's like,
slap.
"What the fuck are these evas?"
I don't
like. They don't know.
necessarily condone physical violence in the workplace, but I will say that she deserved to understand how how Misato felt.
Yeah.
Misato felt.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
So they patch things up for now. They're getting their job done, and they're conducting this test with Unit 3. But basically, as they were transporting Unit 3 to Japan, they go through this cloud, which was actually an angel, and it's like basically gotten all inside this Ava. Totally hijacks a thing, causes this huge explosion, which somehow does not kill Misato or the doctor.
Right, the only people.
And then starts marching on Tokyo 3. So they get all of the Evas lined up to take this thing on. Asuka's first and gets destroyed.
Smoke.
Yeah,
It's
because
fucking
she was really
smoked.
eger to get into that fight, and well,
It did not work out.
It
She
did
got-
not.
Taking L's. bro.
yeah, it's nice.
Ray sees what it is, and for the first time, really doesn't pull the trigger immediately. And
Yeah.
she seems to be having like the same sort of internal conflict that
Yeah, she
Shinji's
realized
having.
Her
Just like,
bi-
there's a pilot
Shinji's
in there.
bitchness
Has now
kinda
transferred to her,
gets
rubbed
cra-
off.
Yeah,
I mean,
has rubbed off
she
on
knows
Ray.
who's in there, man.
She
Like,
does. She's
Yeah.
the. I mean, she.
I don't
and
know if that's
Asuka both
business.
know.
Like that's like empathy and compassion.
And she's
Yeah,
and they're
I gotta
about
agree
to
with- yeah.
and they're about to tell Shinji like the pilot in there is and like they
Yeah.
cut off the
They
feed
cut
to be
off
like
the thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
They
They
don't
don't
want
want him
Shinji
to
to know
know.
because they want Shinji to kill him.
yeah, and that's
well,
exactly
no,
the order
they
they
didn't
give.
cut it off. She got smoked.
That's
Yeah,
well,
she got-
either way, they weren't telling him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're giving him the order to because Ray hesitated, she got beat as well. It started to infect her Eva, but they severed the arm from it.
It was like
and
7
shut it
arms. It was
down.
like they didn't even, they didn't even unsync it. It was like so.
Yeah, so she feels every piece of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then it goes after Shinji, who's the last one standing. He's like, I don't want to fight this thing because there's somebody in there, and
Yep.
like killing an angel's one thing, killing a person's another.
Right.
So he doesn't want to go through with that, and
Yep.
his dad's just like, I don't have time for this shit.
Yep.
And shuts it down and uses the dummy plug to put Ray's personality
Yeah.
into it, and it goes
Dog.
berserk
Yeah.
and
And
rips
kills
that shit
the
to
shit.
He
pieces.
choked, he
Yeah.
choked the fuck out of it.
Punched its head open,
Yeah.
it splattered that like a fucking melon, ripped its arm off. It was going
And everybody was
insane.
sitting there like, oh, like fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the street, they showed the street lights and shit like that, all
Yeah,
covered in the
on the
blood. It's like,
building
It was
oh,
bad.
I like how one of the things just a quick side note, one of the things I actually like about what they did with the Evas here is they show that these things bleed. And that showed from the first episode. So it's like, is this a robot? You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking from the very first time. That doesn't look like any kind of way that a robot would deal with this.
From
And
the
it's
beginning-
red too.
Yeah, from the beginning, I thought something was up with that.
Yeah.
I always felt like, nah, something is more. These things aren't just like metal and robots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we've seen like they have eyes. They they
Yeah,
they
teeth.
bleed.
All that
When
stuff,
he
yeah.
punched that thing's head open, like it wasn't circuits that flew out of there. It was like brains and
Yeah.
eyeballs and shit.
Yeah.
So, and as that's going on, like Shinji's sitting there watching the whole thing as his Eva reaches into there and crushes the pilot thing.
That's the thing too. He had that tube.
Yeah.
where the
Yeah,
pilot
that was
is.
so far because it's like you can destroy the whole machine, but literally pull out the tube that the person's supposed to be in and just crush it in your hand.
And his dad could have cut off the dummy system and not had that happen.
Man,
right?
his dad
It's
is
like,
some
fuck
bullshit,
Yeah,
man.
It. It's like fuck it, let the pilot die too.
So like we can talk shit about whoever's a bitch in the show, or whoever's Me Too, or whoever's blah blah blah. But I think it's unanimous to decide the worst character in the show is Gendo.
Oh yeah,
Like
Yeah,
the dad,
for sure.
he is
100%.
he's the
Sucks.
fucking devil.
So, and he, because it.
But
I mean,
he's damn good at his job.
He is. So there's that yeah he is. Unfortunately,
He gets it done, I
He
guess.
does by any means necessary.
Fuck my son.
So as he's watching, the people like pull the shit away from the blast area, Shinji sees that his friend's being pulled out of it, and he freaks out at the end of the episode. The next episode starts with him basically handing in his resignation, like I'm not getting back inside one of those things. Well, he says it actually, in fact, that he's going to tear the whole like nerve HQ down.
'cause he
He's like,
rejects
I got
the-
enough
yeah.
power.
Yeah.
I'll fucking blow this whole place up.
Is this the second time he said he's gonna quit?
This
Yeah.
is the third time.
He
Is
I
it the
don't know.
third?
It's the third. Because
Well,
he quit. He wanted to quit right after the initial one.
Yeah.
And then a couple one later when he went to the train station. And
That's right.
And then this is the third one.
So,
Ooh.
well, he
All
wasn't
right,
gonna
nice.
he wasn't gonna quit this time. The first time he's gonna kill everybody with him,
Yeah.
and then when his dad again was like, I don't have time for this shit, and like shut it down.
Right.
Yeah, it started basically killing his son. And he's just
is
like, well, do
crazy.
you have anything to say for yourself? He's like, I quit. He's like, okay, get out.
Right.
he's like you do understand that you won't see me anymore. He's like that's the entire reason I'm quitting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Which
Pretty much.
can you blame him for that?
No.
No,
Not at all.
Yeah.
In the meantime, like Suzuhara was waking up in his hospital bed. Ray's checking in on him. Like, there's some other character stuff going on, but it's
Whatever.
kind of neither here nor
Doesn't
there.
matter.
Ray is getting a personality. Basically.
Ray is getting a personality.
She's starting to
yes.
experience feelings and doesn't know how to deal with them.
Yeah. So in the meantime, as Shinji's running away from this, and he's about to get on the train again, and an angel comes down, and he's just like, fuck. Like he can't get on the train, so he goes to this, basically a shelter of some kind where he can try to wait this thing out. And we see that Asuka and Rei are deployed.
Yep.
And since the prototype 00 doesn't have its arm back yet, they're like, all right, put Rei in 01, but 01 rejects it. And they're like,
Hard.
all right, well,
Yeah.
put the dummy plug in 01, and it rejects that too. And Ray's just like, fuck it, put me out in 00. I'll go for it. Like,
Right.
I'll go out on the
Right.
field with the one arm.
She's
I'll
like
take it.
kamikaze.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. So,
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
she had that,
and they had
bomb.
Asuka up front too. Like as this angel gets down, like farther than any other one, it gets down actually into like their underground
He
base.
said,
and
but she
shit.
was like, I'm not gonna lose again.
I'll be real with you. You were saying how if anybody could die in this, it'll be Asuka.
Yeah.
At this point, when I'm watching this show, I wanted everybody to die so this shit can just end. I just
Nah.
wanted everybody. I was like, destroy this whole thing, and this show is over. I know it's not because we clearly have more episodes left, but I was just like, just
That,
whatever.
Saying
that
like-
angel was fucking dope though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I
That's
was-
my favorite one. He or she or whatever. It like had the rubber arms, but it was fucking piercing through shit. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, this is pretty
Yeah.
tight.
cutting off arms, cutting off heads.
At this
and
point, I was on the angel side. I was like, yo, do this shit.
He
Like,
got
win.
and then like you said, he got down in there
Yeah.
too. He was
Yeah.
Yeah,
just-
this is the
just
most
floating
successful
down.
angel thus far.
And what was
Absolutely.
crazy too, I noticed when he cut off Asuka's shit, like all the other Evas, like when they bleed red, but Asuka's bled purple.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Which
did.
is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's
But they
about.
and you notice that they never move Asuka out of hers. Asuka
Yeah.
stays in hers at all times.
Pretty much.
I think it's maybe because they was like it's a newer version, and they didn't want it
So-
to resemble blood, so they was
Maybe.
like, let's make it purple.
Maybe Rob and I have a
Kool-Aid.
Rob and I have a theory about the Evas, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So, Rey does go up with her one-armed Ava and is just like, fuck it. She does kamikaze thing. She takes one of those N2 nuclear bombs or whatever
Yep.
and just charges the thing, forces it through the shield, and it all it does is fuck up her Eva.
Yep.
It has almost
That was
no
some
effect.
Vegeta ass, Majin Vegeta.
It really fucking was, yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's right.
Meanwhile, Shinji's hiding in this this bomb bunker, and the head from Asuka's Eva lands immediately in the blows up the whole fucking bunker, and he's like, "All right, I got to run from here." And as he's watching the fight go on, he runs into Ryoji, who's out there watering his little watermelon patch, which we saw in an earlier episode.
I like him more.
And he's just like, "Well, I'm out here. This is all I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all I can do. What can you do?"
Bitch.
And it's a great argument. He's like, "What are you doing out here? You should be in a shelter." He's like, "Well, I mean, if that thing wins, we're all dead anyway. So, where would I choose to be? He's like, I could be with my girl, or honestly, I know it still seems funny for me. Yes, I know. I'd rather actually be out here watering my garden, and this is the only thing I can do. So this is what I'm doing."
Well, so as Shinji takes that and he runs back to the nerve base, just as the angel's getting inside, and as it's coming at the main command, comes through the wall, punches that thing in the face.
That
Yeah.
shit was tight.
Yeah, it was
And
bitch
then-
move. Yeah.
I mean, it was.
But he was. What happened before that to get in there? See, I was gonna let you live, but now you didn't.
I'm just saying it was bitch move. It's not like he saved us again.
I can't do anything.
we almost got there.
Yeah.
I can't do anything, but what your bitch ass gonna do? And he was like, oh, "I'm a bitch. I don't
think-
know. I don't know." And let me see my.
The
two
last time
friends
I was in
getting
one of these
fucked
things,
up.
my dad made me pretty much kill one of my friends.
But I'm gonna just watch my other two friends get fucked up, and then you know what? I'm still undecisive.
Every time I get one of these Evas, something horrible happens to me. Every
and
time.
then let me watch my
Every
two
single
friends
time.
get fucking demolished, and I still don't know. And then I got to get convinced by this fucking Me Too ass motherfucker that's fucking watering his watermelons. Oh, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm trash as fuck, but what your bitch ass gonna do?" And he was like, "I still don't know."
The most
And then he
interesting
ran,
story
He
breakdown.
ran, still contemplating like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know." And then you want to come in and try to save the day.
What do you mean
Which-
try? What do you mean
Which
try?
he does. He does.
Yeah.
There's no try.
He did it.
I mean, they had the craziest fight scene that we've seen so far
Yeah,
on
it
the
was-
show.
they went
Yes.
in.
I mean,
Yeah.
because he gets his fucking hand ripped off as he's about to punch this thing, and he's just dragging it by the throat all the way up
And
the
he told his
elevator
homegirl to hit
shaft.
the thing.
So the
yeah.
one thing that I would like to point out about Shinji's bitch assness is that they have this neural connection to these Evas. So when this thing cuts his arm off, it feels like his arm actually just got cut off. You guys remember when he fell down and started crying because it hurt so bad? Remember that part? No, it didn't happen because what he did was grab it by the throat and throw it through a goddamn building after his arm got
you
cut
got
off.
your adrenaline going. At
Yeah, but
that
that's cool.
moment.
No, go ahead,
I'm
Rob. What
saying at
happens
that
next?
moment, you
'Cause
still
I'm just
going
saying he's
through
such a bitch. He fell down
He's
and
still a
cried.
bitch. You see,
I
all
would
what
love
it
to see
took-
what you would do if
all
your arm
what it
got
took
cut
to
off
get
in the middle of
there.
a fight.
All what it took to get
I would
there.
love to see what you would do.
But like I said, all what it took to get there.
Yeah,
He's
whatever.
a bitch.
Yeah, okay.
So-
He's still a
Uh-huh.
bitch.
So he's fighting this thing, and just as he's about to try and kill this thing, his Eva runs out of power because it's not plugged in.
Oh, that was so whack.
And it's like, oh, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You
was
don't
getting good.
plug it in?
Yeah.
You gotta plug it in.
Yeah.
So this thing tears its chest plate open and shows that these Evas also have that red angel core
Yep.
Yeah.
that that all these angels have.
Everybody's like, the
And
fuck?
he's just about to start,
He's
and it
pounding
starts
on it,
destroying
like,
on this thing, and then he's like, and Shinji's inside, just being like, begging his Eva to work, and then finally it comes back online, goes absolutely
Crazy.
berserk.
Yeah,
It was
Nuts.
like his eyes open up, like the helmet
Yeah,
the
thing
mouth
comes off.
opens.
Yeah, the mouth opens and it does that terrifying scream,
Yeah.
and it proceeds to
Fucking-
regenerate. It regenerates an arm,
Yeah.
but the arm looks like a human arm when it
Arm, yeah,
regenerates.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it is skin. And
That
it
shit is
he,
hard.
what he does though is he grabs like those things he was saying, like those whip things.
Yeah.
Grabs one of those things from the other angel.
Yeah.
Puts it
Puts it on
onto
its own
its
body.
socket.
Yeah.
That regenerates into a human-looking arm, and then proceeds to demolish.
And
Yeah.
the way
that
his
angel.
his or her movements fucking changed.
Yeah, it was like crawling
it
on
was
all
like
fours.
just
Yeah.
moving and
Yeah.
shit. Like,
And then
And 400% sync level,
Right.
Yep.
So hey, something going on here.
yep.
yeah.
Something's
Yeah,
working.
Something's working.
Because meanwhile, his dad's watching this, smiling the whole time, and his guy's behind him, just like, was this the plan? He's like,
like,
Yeah,
yes.
it's finally
everything's
happened.
finally
It's now starting. Like, what?
I'm like 20 episodes in. Everything's now starting.
So the other thing that happened is so what the Eva does is beats the fuck out of this thing, then goes
Dog
and gets
shit.
down and eats it.
eats
Yeah.
it, and people are
Yeah.
throwing up just like, what
yeah,
the
like
Yeah.
it's like an animal. He's just like, and he's making that like
They're
that,
looking
that-
around and
yeah,
stuff like an
yeah.
animal
Yeah.
while it's eating it, and then it eats it to. They assume that it's eating it to incorporate the S2 drive, which
Right.
means it gives it unlimited power forever.
Yeah.
So it incorporates the S2 drive, and as soon as it does incorporate the S2 drive, then all of the restraints, which we didn't know were
Ye-
restraints, they look
yeah.
like armor.
Yeah.
All the restraints on the Eva come off. Like
Yeah.
it breaks
Yeah.
forcefully breaks off those things, and then it roars, and everybody's just like, oh, we don't
Oh,
have any
shit.
control of this anymore.
Gaiaka.
So that was, I thought, really, really crazy. Like that fight and that whole scene right there
Yeah.
That
was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they basically say that, they admit that, this isn't armor. These are restraints for these things, that these are basically clones of the first angel Adam that they've somehow genetically manipulated
Yeah.
to try to be like, I think what they're doing is merging angels and humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
All
like,
right, so we
putting
can
them
do it. You want to
together.
do it now?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
All right,
Okay.
so me and Rob had a theory that we kind of said at the
Rob
same
and
time
I.
on the phone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rob and I had a theory that we said at the same time. That sounds like he reads. And
Some you
what we
obviously
did, what we think is that the reason why these children are chosen is because their mothers were made into the Evas. If you think about any of these kids, they don't have any moms. Even like the new guy, what's his name, Toji. Nobody's there to make his lunches. These girls are bringing their own lunches to school because they have to make them themselves. Like none of them have mothers. Pretty much none of
the
them.
moms specifically.
Specifically,
Specifically, that's specific.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. The thing is, they don't really define that well.
I think it's
But
at least Shinji's mom.
He
It's
said,
at least
That's
Shinji's
got to
mom.
be
Yeah.
Shinji's
But
mom.
they
It has
said
to be
that.
Shinji's mom.
He said
She
it.
mysteriously disappeared, and everybody's like, kind of low-key thinks his dad murdered her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
But
that's
he
been
says
kinda
that
coming
though.
up.
He says that his mom is the Eva. He says that that when he's going into that trance and everybody's
Yeah.
like, he was like, oh yeah, like
he
she's
encounters
gone
his
'cause-
mom.
yeah.
but
He encounters. He doesn't say like this Eva's my mom. It's just like it's
Right,
kind of
right.
alluded to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it makes you for me, it made me think about all the other Eva pilots. Is like even the girl that I hate, Asuka. Her, she even has like those breakdown moments where she's talking about her mom.
yeah,
So it's like she doesn't have her mom. So it's like they all have this motherhood trauma, and they all have these Evas that
Yeah,
they're
she-
pretty much only allowed to be in.
And she mentioned she has some sort of dark past that Misato knows about, and she's like, no, don't worry about it. Like, that's the past. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool.
So it just feels to me like these parents or mothers specifically are being made into these giant things.
Damn, it
and
sounds like
mixed
some
with like
Full
the-
Metal Alchemist.
yeah.
very
A
much
monkey.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like, and
Like
it
homunculi.
seems to be like
Yeah.
interesting that, you're taking something from Adam to make
Right.
these Evas. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Eve.
So
Yeah.
there are clearly a lot of illusions there. and they've talked a lot
Ah.
about how like
Yeah.
everything been foretold in
That
the
was well
Dead
done. I'm
Sea
gonna give you a
Scrolls.
high five
Thank
on
you.
that. That was nice.
Yeah.
So like a lot of this is some prophecy shit that a lot
Yeah.
of these people have seen coming for a long time. It seems
I
like.
agree.
So
That's a good theory.
Yeah,
I
I
like
agree.
It
that.
adds a lot of depth to the show. I'll say
Yeah.
that. It doesn't necessarily make it.
It doesn't make it any better.
doesn't
No, I think it
But
does. I think it does make it
makes
better.
it better, but
Doesn't
it's
make
still
it
fucking
good.
slow as shit,
It
and
doesn't-
about twice as many episodes as there need to be.
It
Yeah.
doesn't make it as worse as gangsta as I had thought. If that's the theory, if that's real,
Just for the record,
Mm.
what Keenan said to me this morning, Rob.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Keenan. What did you say to me this morning?
I mean, this argument probably ain't gonna hold no weight to compare to the other arguments we had earlier
No,
today.
I don't give a shit. No, don't you go over here. Like,
I don't care.
You
I'm
walk
not-
in the.
We still have one tech. Let me just speed through this last one because
Okay.
it's mostly just like
And we're-
trippy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
But it's basically the aftermath of this. Shinji has somehow disappeared from his pilot thing. He's basically been broken down into primordial ooze. He has no physical form anymore, and he's on some like crazy DMT
Yeah.
trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Wild.
Right, like
is
it's
wild.
fucking crazy, and he's
Become one with me. It'll feel good.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
got like weird sexual fantasies about like all the women he's
All
met.
the it's so crazy.
Yeah.
But like, and then it's also like some Freudian shit with his mom connected to that thing. But yeah, you get like some weird hints of his past where it turns out he has seen these Evas before because he
Yeah.
remembers he saw them when he was a kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
So his mom's been working on this. There's like a moment where like you hear dialogue between the mom and the dad, and she's just like, "Oh, our kid's about to be born. What are we gonna name?" And he's like, "Oh, let's go name him Shinji if he's a boy,
And
Ray,
Ray
if he's a girl,
Yeah.
or if
Yeah.
it's a girl." And then
So what if Ray was a kid that they did have,
Yeah.
but she just developed? He developed her in that particular space where they're at. Like,
Could've
so
been.
it's like that was like the last child before the mother died.
And they wouldn't be the same age unless they're twins.
Yeah, they might
Maybe
be
they are.
twins. Also, too, it might be the Ava, that synchronization thing. That might be she didn't try to become the Eva.
Mm-hmm.
She just was doing the test run, and then she ended up fucking sinking to the point where
Yeah.
she couldn't unsync herself again.
I think that's possible too, because
Yeah.
while they're trying to unsync Shinji from it, the doctor Rizzuto basically says, "Yeah, my mom tried to do this 10 years ago with somebody,
Yeah,
and it
and it
wasn't
failed.
successful."
Yeah.
yeah.
So while this is all going on, this takes place over like a month. They keep
Yeah.
updating us how many days it's
31
been.
days.
Asuka's like fucking destroyed because she failed so hard.
Yeah,
So hard.
She's not even worried about who died and everything like that.
No.
Which she probably may be internally, but
Yeah, she's just like
selfish
on the-
little
yeah.
typical
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
So
she's like,
Ragged, you
how
ragged
come he gets
teenager,
the
though.
glory of winning? Like
Typical teenager.
he is
though. I
primordial
can't-
soup
yeah.
right now.
Right. Right.
She's acting like a teenager, so I can't be that
Primordial
mad.
soup.
She's not even for a teenager. She's
pretty
petty
good.
as fuck.
yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But through this whole thing, Shinji's like connecting with his mom, also coming to terms with his shortcomings because he does run away from pain. Like that's his
Yeah.
whole thing is he just wants to have a happy life.
It's
But-
funny. He's like, "What's wrong with running from pain?"
yeah,
It's like,
it's like
I
well,
kind of felt that.
you
Like-
kind of need like, hey, the good parts mean nothing without the bad. You know? You
Yeah, I
gotta
get
have
it.
Both.
I
Yeah,
get
you
both
gotta have
sides.
both.
'Cause I'm like, why run away from pain? Because pain is growth, but at the same time, pain hurts.
Pain
So-
hurts.
Yeah.
So while they're trying to do this test, it seems like things aren't going to go right. But as the things are failing, and Misato goes into the basically goes to the pilot to pull him out, and it's just a suit. Which also, by the way, I noticed when he went into the Eva, he was in his fucking street clothes, and then when she went to the pilot like thing, it was
Yeah.
his pilot clothes. So what the
Right.
fuck?
I'll
Yeah.
tell you this: the animation on the show has been pretty fucking bad.
It's
Yeah.
been like
It's-
they're a
it's
little
very
all over the place.
lazy.
with shit.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's choppy. Everything about this shit.
Yeah. So, but while she's basically crying over,
Hate,
his
hate.
empty suit, Shinji is then literally rebirthed from the Eva, like from that center, like
In a
chest
fetal
thing.
position.
Yeah.
Remind me
and-
of Ace Ventura when he came
yeah.
Ah, the rhino.
The rhinoceros. Yeah. But the last scene, I believe, is basically Misato and Ryoji hooking up, and she basically says she acknowledges she's using him for the information that he has.
I respect
and,
that.
and
Yeah.
she's
Dick.
just like,
Yeah.
and he's like, he gives her the drive, and is just like, here, this is probably the last thing I'm ever gonna give you.
You don't
Because
get
he's
no more
Outside
dick.
of dick.
because I'm on the other side of that. Like, I think people are coming for him because
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
on like that council's just like, what the fuck's going on with Shinji's
He's
dad?
supposed to be the
Yeah.
bell.
And he's supposed to be the one that's looking after him, and they're just
Yeah.
like, how fucking useful is a bell that doesn't ring?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's probably, his day's got to be numbered, I'm thinking. But
Yeah.
that pretty much brings us to last
Where we
episode.
are.
That was the worst fucking sex scene I've
It was
ever
like,
seen. It was
so awkward.
and that's,
Yeah.
that's why it goes to lazy animation. I'm not saying short of sex scene, but they literally just go over to a drink and a table, and
Yeah.
all you
Audio.
hear is, and it was so funny. I can tell. I feel like the voice actors was so awkward. I just feel
Yeah.
like they were just like punching like some cloth. Oh,
Yeah.
right. You like, yeah. Oh,
Are you watching the English version? Is
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah,
what
watch
it's
the
like?
English version.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
say the Japanese version was better than that.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
it
English
was.
version.
The
The
English
English
version.
version was fucking.
I kind of want to watch that.
Yeah, I kind of
Bro,
want to watch it now.
It
We,
was
I didn't
bad.
see that.
I was
Just
just watching
skip-
it right here. I'm
skip
like, yo,
to
what the
that
fuck
scene.
is? Yeah.
The voice acting, I was like, this shit is brutal, bro.
Yeah.
This shit sucks.
The Japanese version was, I'd say, I felt
It was a little. It was uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable because it felt somewhat authentic.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
what
Oh,
"Ugh,
okay,
this
okay.
it felt like
And
they were
I-
actually having sex.
And they normally do. I feel like the Japanese, like I said, like I watch dub for convenience.
Right, of
So
course.
I understand they do it better. But yeah, I was watching this shit. And I forgot you guys are watching it on sub, so it's different. But goddamn,
It was interesting
No,
too.
I've subbed. I've dubbed all of this one because
There you
I'm
go.
not gonna. Fuck no.
Yeah.
I'm
Alright,
not.
so-
yeah, no.
I want to get to the thing that I've been wanting to get to all episode.
Yeah.
Keenan.
I'll open
this is
back
not
up.
going to. This is not going to be the
Keenan,
argument you want.
goddamn it, just fucking say it.
Look,
He walked in. He was depressed. He walked in the office. What's wrong, Keenan?
I said this is clearly the worst anime we've ever seen. It's
And
not
I was
even-
like, gangsta?
I said it's worse than Gangsta because this is 26 episodes of bullshit.
That's what and so I was
And
like,
it's
I
like-
completely disagree with
And
you,
I was
sir.
like, if they crunch this down to 12 episodes, and I want to give us a sincere, and I might do this. I'll do this on the last episode. I'll talk about that on the last episode. But if this was crunched down to 12 episodes with the highlights of this show, it'll still be bad.
Yeah.
It'll still be a bad show.
Yep.
Because here's the thing where I give Gangsta. At least in Gangsta, the animation and fluidity of this animation in there and the fight scenes were pretty cool. This, at moments, it was.
gangsta was
At
terrible,
moments.
At moments.
Gangsta is still
There
my
hasn't
basement all
been-
day.
Few moments.
There hasn't been, to me, a moment where the animation was dope in this shit. So the animation's bad. It's slow as fuck.
Wait. So when they did the twin dance thing where they were like flipping through the air, like that wasn't dope to you? That shit was amazing.
That shit was trash.
That shit was
Really?
corny as
That
fuck.
shit
to
was
me.
trash.
It was
Okay.
corny as fuck to me.
I thought it looked good.
So,
That shit
like-
was trash.
It was mad corny to me. And then the
Oh,
music
alright.
playing in the background. I see what they were trying to do. I get that. I get what they're trying to do 100%. But I was just like, bro, I'm watching both of these shows. They're both so bad that I don't. It doesn't really matter.
but
what
you said,
pick.
but you already said gangsta is
to me,
better.
no. I said, well,
That's
no,
what you said. You literally said that.
I said. Gangsta is probably better than this.
You didn't
but,
say probably.
But I said with you guys' new theory, I'll be like, okay, that's pretty clever and cool if that's the case. But it's still a bad show. There's no getting past this being a bad show.
And on top of that, you got to think about, please, Brennan, take this compliment lightly. You got to think about the intelligence of y'all too, and how deep you guys are, and the level that y'all think on. I'm not saying Keenan's dumb or I'm dumb, but it's like, because we both came. Well, I came.
This show is definitely more up my alley,
right?
I
So you got to think
Right.
about people, the average anime fan, and the people that like anime like us. Like that shit is like.
But here, I because I knew coming like a few weeks ago, I saw some stuff that I was like, all right, cool. I don't think most of the guys are going to like this show. And I was just curious because I was, like I've said, I don't know that I can necessarily defend the show. It's not ever going to make any of my top 10s or anything like that. However, I would still recommend it to people like I would recommend like Citizen Kane. Like I didn't necessarily think that was an interesting watch, but I think you should watch it if you're interested in like the history of this shit, because it's clearly a pillar of the anime world. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes, 100%. 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Here's the award section on its wiki. Neon Genesis has scored highly on numerous popularity polls. In 1996, it won first place in Best Love Series anime in the anime category.
Best love series.
Best Love Series.
That
But
means
hold on.
that means it ain't no Me Too shit.
Right.
So Brennan
take
might
that.
be right.
But it was also in
I'll take that.
1996.
In 96.
Right.
The show was
Very
show
fair.
won the award again, first place in 97 by a large margin, and then it's the movie won it again, first place in 98. It won. It was the first anime to win for the first prize 3 times. It was ranked the number 10 animated series, not anime, all animated series on IGN. It was number 10. On IGN's website of all animated TV series ever.
Yes.
The series placed third in Animage's anime that should be remembered in the 21st century.
Fuck you,
Go,
Rob.
Rob.
Fuck you, Rob.
Go,
Fuck you.
In
Rob.
98, it was EX.org's readers voted Neon Genesis the number 1 U.S. anime release in 1999 and the number 2 show of all time. In 2007, large-scale poll by TV
was
Asai
so
found
ready for this.
Evangelion
Yeah,
was the second most appreciated anime in Japan, and the series was ranked as the most popular of all time in 2006 in a survey of 80,000 attendees. There's a whole other paragraph. I could keep reading.
No. Here's the thing. I'm not disputing that from the time that it came out. I'm saying in watching this now, because I said I think last week, he said this anime didn't age well.
Yeah.
Some of those were from like 2008.
2008.
Like coming into the 21st century.
I
So-
ain't gonna lie to you. I want to talk to the people that. Because I guess it's all an opinion.
Yeah,
No,
it is.
it's all
That's the
opinion.
thing. Absolutely.
The way, like the animes that I watch, this isn't it.
And I get
Yeah.
that.
And so I'm not, and even with some animes that I like I said, Death Note is the same thing.
I still can't even for me, because of the plot of this show and the storyline, the undercurrents, and the theories that can go along with it, it doesn't even compare to Gangsta, because Gangsta didn't even have that. Like Gangsta didn't have
you're going
shit.
on possible theories.
No,
and
I'm
that's
just
not
saying though,
fair.
like as an overall experience, like of what like the show was, Gangsta was really frustrating because we didn't even know what the fuck was happening. Do you not remember this? Like we really didn't know what was happening.
That's
We're
true.
like we truly there was like it was like
They made it up every
It was
week.
it was an unfinished thought.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
But hold on.
Go ahead.
So like you're over here defending Gangsta against this show, and I'm like, look, this isn't my favorite anime either. But the thing that I remember, because I went back and listened to how we were talking about Gangsta, like we didn't. The only compliment that we gave that show was the almost fight that happened. That's the only one.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't say like everything about the writing of that show, the directing of the show, the music of the show. The only compliment we gave was the one rooftop fight that they didn't even show us.
Well, what compliment have we given this?
Right now, I'm saying that the plot line and the story, I
possibly what you think it
is interesting.
We have
I'm
given
not
the show
saying
props
which-
on sound design. We've given it on even on some of the character development today. We've said with Ray and even with Ryoji and some
Yeah.
of those
I don't
people.
think that was when I said it wasn't a compliment, it was just me stating that it's happening.
All I'm saying is that this show is cohesive.
What?
That's it. No, I'm saying it's like a cohesive piece. There's a progression. Like you understand everything that's happening. It's not like you're
But
like, oh shit, someone
I
attacked
do-
this particular
it can be
station
cohesive, but
that
if
is things
I'm
like the
bogged
Earth.
down with boredom,
The Earth,
trying to
no, but
watch
that's
it,
fine.
that's
But we were
like-
bogged down with boredom watching fucking Gangsta. So what I'm saying is, we watched
at least
Gangsta.
it ended in
we
12
didn't,
episodes.
Right.
We didn't even know what happened in those 12 episodes. Like, what is Gangsta about?
And I appreciate them cutting the shit off at 12 episodes.
Right.
Because this is what I'm talking about. I understand all the accolades that this show has gotten. And
I don't think you do, because you said it's worse than Gangsta. You don't understand anything.
No,
there's
I do.
somebody- but you- if you go-
I can hate a movie, but understand why people love it. I'm not one of those people that's like, when a movie's like, if I think a movie's trash, like, how do you not understand? I'm like, to me, like you said, I understand that. Do we even like? There's certain animes that you talked about that you said you like, and I'm like, all right, I can see if Brendan might love this shit, and I fucking completely hate this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like when we talked about the two animes that we just started watching, Fire Force and Dr. Stone.
Yeah, y'all had two different
I think
opinions
both are
about
going to
it.
be good, but I think Firestone is way more up my. I mean, Fire Force is way more up my alley. It's way
Yeah.
more what I would love
Clearly,
to watch.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm simply saying, in the sense of, I understand that. Because sound design, I will say, when I was watching that, said the sound design, if this sound design was for a better anime, this would have been incredible.
Yeah, that's the
But
case and all
this
that,
anime
amazing.
to me is so long and
It's
bad.
like
Like, I was literally like,
don't
I had to be
appreciate it.
like, I was like unconsciously awake while watching this shit.
Yeah.
That's
So,
how.
Super side note: there's an anime that came out between like 1986, 1987 called Saint Seiya. Have any of you guys ever heard of that one?
No.
Okay, that's all. I just wanted to know, because I would be able to have a whole conversation about some shit. But
So my biggest comparison is that if this was 12 episodes, condensed down to 12 episodes, right, of the best episodes that we've watched, and we're gonna probably have to watch what I heard is nothing else to tell in this really, but I think in the 12 episodes span of this, I'll be like, all right, this is better than Gangsta. But the fact that it's so long,
Yeah.
and we got 5 more.
Same
6
thing.
more.
I mean,
So, I'm
six-
sorry, I'll keep saying
and
5
it's the
more.
same thing we said with Samurai Champloo. If you drop those down, it's maybe still okay. But you got to do 27 episodes. It's like,
don't you give me no goddamn maybe a Samurai Champloo.
With Samurai
No.
Champloo, and I'll talk about Samurai Champloo the next time we talk about it, because we got to get out of here. But that's my main gripe, is that this shit is another 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I had people DM me say like, bruh, just do 11 and get this shit out the way. I can't do this with y'all. This shit is terrible.
yeah.
This is other fans saying this.
I've had people message me and say like, dude, you picked a good one. And honestly, like, I'm not loving the show, but to say that it's as bad as Gangster, I don't think
It's
so.
close.
For
It's
me, this is
damn
on the level
close.
of like Samurai Champloo and Trigun.
No way.
Yes.
Fuck
no
no.
way.
Fuck no.
No.
Yes.
No.
No
Yeah.
way.
So,
Yes.
So then I'm gonna say this, and I know people gonna get mad. Probably Keenan might get mad, but it's like this shit didn't age well, and different things mean different things to different people. I understand that, but like this really reminds me of like Tupac. Like Tupac at the time, and everybody now reveres Tupac as one of the best ever. But like Tupac is not that great of a rapper. Like, and
If you're going off bars, yeah.
he's not that great.
If you're going
But
off- if you're going
it's
off
just his
bars.
impact and what people did at do that time. Like, there's people now that alive that can
Can't.
out rap. I can give you 10 rappers.
Nobody-
that can
I don't-
out rap.
nobody
We
ever-
can't
What-
argue with
but-
this, right? We don't have time for this argument.
Yeah, we don't. But just to say what you're saying, just to combat that, nobody ever says Tupac is the greatest in the sense of lyrical bars.
But they still say
they
he's the-
understand of his impact and his cultural impact. Tupac has the biggest culture. Motherfucking men are wearing nose rings, and that's a Tupac thing.
But they say he's the greatest for whatever reason. But you listen to his music now, it doesn't last. Like you
yes, it does. I hear it on the radio. When I hear it on the radio and I listen to All Eyes on Me is still a fucking.
Oh,
There's
Eyes
still,
on
but I
Me.
said there's points. His hits hit. But other than that, his albums are not the same. They don't last. Same thing with his anime. They,
Bro,
I
in
disagree.
95,
you listen. All right, we gotta cut this. But which pretty much Tupac is everything that's happening now. Tupac has said in his albums. Is literally all Tupac has said a lot of stuff that Kendrick's even saying. A lot of stuff when it comes to whether it's the black movement, the police, and all that stuff like that. Tupac has said that on those albums, and it's happening now.
but it's still the content might be there. Like just like this anime, the content might be there. The overarching theme might be dope. But what you're seeing and what you're getting and how it's how it's presented to you is not dope.
And that's exactly what I was saying. It's like, I'm not necessarily like, oh man, if you like anime, fucking watch this show. But I'm like, if you want to see, like, do your homework and
Yeah.
like see what anime's about, watch the show. Like, because this is what it came from.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's
you should
exactly
check
and
it
that's
out.
what, exactly what I'm
we
saying
got
with Tupac.
we got 6 more episodes as of right now. Only way I would recommend this is to say this is considered a classic to people.
Yeah. I totally get why people don't like it.
I would
totally
be like,
understand
I'm
that.
not fucking with this.
Yeah, I
But-
get
and
that.
that's what I was saying. Like, I
But
get
the
why
revi-
people like Tupac,
the
but it's like
reviews-
it's not.
The reviews of this show is outstanding.
Yeah.
So maybe you're gonna watch it and be like, you have a whole different depiction.
Same thing with Akira. It was outstanding.
Well,
You
that's
gonna-
the
you
thing,
gonna
Get
yeah.
some heat
it's
for that
like,
though.
mm.
Yeah, people already give you some heat for that one. But like, yeah, let's we actually gotta wrap this up. How long? We good?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
way
All right.
over.
time.
I drop yourself,
The eye exam THEIYEXAM.
Brandon.
At Mr. Producer Face on the gram.
Rob.
RV Danger 44 on Twitter.
Keenan Baker on everything. Ice and I have another bonfire show July 31st.
Yep.
Come through 8:00. Be there early.
Early.
Free tickets on
Pull up.
Eventbrite. Just type in Bonfire Stories on Eventbrite. Check us out. And myself is Keenan Baker on everything. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of AnimeSHUN. We out.
Peace.
And so anime was solved forever.